Welcome back, everybody. My channel. Are you listening? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Little Chat With. Today, we're talking with Mayo Hosko, the human genius or the human encyclopedia, the remembrance of everything. We get to interview him, get to see more about him, what his other hobbies are, and stuff like that. It's very exciting stuff. So sit back, relax, and let's get to know this guy a little bit more. What do you say? Let's go. Let's get into it. Come on. What's up, everybody? Here we have Mayo Hosko. How you doing, Mayo?
I'm fine. I just woke up an hour ago, so I feel as fresh as a daisy.
There you go. Um, so you been doing all right? You been hanging in there? How's school going?
Well, class went back. At the time of this recording, a couple days ago, so I just got off a big sleep as I always do. Seems like that's how it goes. For me at grad school after a few weeks or so of not being in class.
Nice. Uh, how many more years of school do you have left?
This is the second half of my third semester in total, and
Okay.
I think I've got 4 semesters. So
Okay.
about 1.5 to go. I should graduate in December or November this year.
Nice. Well, we always look forward to that. So yeah, everybody in this world, in this Lego community, knows that you are a Lego fanatic. You know a lot about Lego, especially vintage Lego. But I've heard that you have other hobbies.
Oh yes, there's more than just the Lego because there's a whole variety of different trains that I collect as well, and there's a few other things that I collect, but not to the new amount as trains.
So, what kind of trains do you collect?
So besides the Lego trains, I collect wooden trains, plastic trains, die-cast trains, and model trains.
Nice. Were you ever big on Thomas the Train?
Thomas the Tank Engine. Yes, I grew up watching season 6, which in the US came out in 2002 on ABC for Kids in Australia. Premiered around early 2003. So I grew up with season 6, and they showed reruns of season 5, which in the US came out in 1998. Both seasons in the US of which was narrated by the Alec Baldwin. In the UK and the rest of the world, it was narrated by Michael Angelis, and of and it's a weird thing with Thomas the Tank Engine because the UK and the US always had different narrators until like 10 years ago
Oh, wow.
because the production of that TV series wanted American audiences to relate to Americans.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. I just figured it's just the same show, just shown in both countries. With the
No,
same narrator and all that.
the production company made sure to make sure that British audiences listen to a British voice and American audiences listen to an American voice, like Ringo Starr, George Carlin, Alec Baldwin, and a few others.
Okay. Uh, what is the best? What do you? Well, let me ask you this: what is the most favorite train of yours? Is it a wooden train or die cast? Which one would you prefer to collect if you had the choice?
Well, if I could collect one, it would be the Wooden Railway, and it's more than just the Thomas stuff. There's a whole bunch of other companies that have made wooden versions of real life trains. So I went to Wales. The time I went to England and bought a big jigs wooden version of the Stephenson's rocket, which is all the train nerds know, won the Rainhill trials back in 1940, 50, or 60 something.
Nice. Uh, I collected a train when I was young, but it was um, a a battery powered one that went on on tracks, had the little controllers, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't like a Lionel or
Yeah,
anything
they
like
sell
that.
a lot of those types to go around a yeah, they sell a lot of those types of trains to go around a Christmas tree.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it was. But I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to it. I have a Lego train, but that's it. Do you now? Where do you display them, or you just keep them boxed up and get them out every once in a while, or what do
Well,
you
I
do?
prefer to have display stuff for the Lego. So almost all of my other trains I do keep in boxes. Some of which is actually underneath the table.
Okay. And how long have you been collecting trains? All your life?
I've been collecting trains. I think 1 or 2 years longer than I've been collecting Lego. So I collected Lego. Started probably my fourth birthday, 2005. But I've been collecting different types of trains. I think it was the diecast first, back in probably my winter of 2003.
Cool. Cool. Um, you, I don't know very many people, especially your age right now, that collects trains. I mean,
Yeah, that's because people normally grow out of it until you go back to social media years later and realize that while there's a lot of Lego people on Instagram, there's a lot of train collectors on Twitter X. And that's what I find fascinating being part of the Lego community and the train community, particularly the Thomas the Tank Engine community. There are different social medias besides YouTube that different communities have spread out to.
okay. I was going to ask you that. Is the community kind of like the Legos community?
Yes,
Just
and
about
there's
the
just
same?
as much arguments, if not more arguments, in the train community than there is in the Lego community. I think more so because there's more teenagers within the train community, and there's more AFOLs on Lego social media. So I see a lot of similarities between some of the arguments. The difference is some of it is more over the nitty gritty, and others is more philosophical. So I've seen the drama that happens in both communities, and I kind of do compare and contrast.
Nice. So, another thing that I find very uh, fascinating about you is you're a sports fanatic, especially in basketball and football. Um, and it amazes me that you keep up with it all, being from Australia with the U.S. football and basketball. You stay up at night to watch it, or do you just record it?
Well, fortunately, um, during the basketball seasons, a lot of the games are played at night. So I just wake up in the morning and watch NBA games. Now, during the NFL season, I have to stay up at night to watch the games
Yeah.
because they're day. So I have chosen university and grad school classes in the past to not be on a Monday morning.
Okay. It gives you time
Because
to
like
watch
I
it.
I never I never want to take a second semester class that starts at 9 a.m. on Monday morning because the NFL games are still going on.
Well, I just find that fascinating. I mean, I'd figure you'd be all over like the soccer. Ain't soccer pretty big over there in
Oh,
Australia?
I keep up with that as well. The sports calendar, it never stops.
And then I also heard that you got fascinated with darts.
Yeah, because it was around 10 years ago. Saw the darts world championship on Sky Sports, which Sky Sports, beIN Sports, UO Sport, and ESPN all used to be on the sports cable that we used to pay for. And
Okay.
so that's how I got immersed into American sports, European sports, Asian sports, and some of the and some of the small scale sports that don't get the national and international attention. So it was because they used to have it all, and they've kind of sold off some of their assets since then in the rise of streaming. Like, if you're an NFL fan, you have to have Amazon, and maybe you might pay for Peacock, maybe you might pay for Paramount Plus. Some games are on Netflix. That's 4. And the NBA has gone down a similar pathway. Baseball has always been, okay, you got to subscribe to one thing because hardly any of the games are on national TV because there's 162 games. It's impossible to show all of them. So you got to keep on top of things. But if you are able to keep on top of things, then you can see more of what you like. And that's how I got immersed in the whole world of sports, not just sports in my country.
Nice. Will you think there'll ever be an NFL team in Australia?
And no, because that's an American sport. The best that the NFL can try to do to compete with the NBA, which has globalized its sport thanks to Michael Jordan, is to play more of its games internationally. In September, there's going to be a match between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams at the greatest stadium in the Southern Hemisphere, the MCG, which is an acronym for the Melbourne Cricket Ground, because the NFL wants to compete with the globalization that the NBA has, in a similar way that baseball expanded into Japan and North Korea 70 years ago. South Korea 70 years ago.
The rumor has it, Roger Goodell, he wants to make the NFL go global and actually have teams playing in all the countries that they've played in. Mexico, Germany, Australia. He's the one to expand
well, there's all those talks that the Jacksonville Jaguars were trying to get to London, but the people of Jacksonville didn't allow it or something.
Yeah, but I watch a couple more years, y'all may have an NFL team.
Who knows? Well, they try to the NBA tried to make inroads in Europe, but that didn't happen.
No.
So I'm not sure the NFL could do it, to be honest.
True. All right. Well, that was our sports segment.
Yeah.
I know you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I don't know why, but
fly Eagles fly. Well, that's because my father paid attention to them when Michael Vick got out of jail.
Okay. Well, I'll take that back. At least you're not a bandwagon fan.
Yeah, and I have an interest in the Broncos as well because my dad grew up watching John Elway.
I did too, and I like John Elway, even though he was our arch enemy. I like John Elway.
Yeah,
but anyway, so what else? What other kind of hobbies do you have?
Well, I'm an avid gamer. On PC and mobile. Because I actually paused this interview. I actually paused some gaming sessions on my phone. You got games on your phone to do this interview. And then with my friends, we play Mario Kart and Wii Sports all the time when they come over to my house on my Wii, because that's the only console we own. I'm also big into PC gaming when I'm not doing assignments for grad school. And it's so easy to listen to someone's podcast, whether it's one of my Lego friends, whether it's a sports podcast, whether it's a train podcast, have that on in the background while I'm doing something.
That's good. That's what I do. When I got that, when I'm out there working in the shop, I'll turn on YouTube, find a podcast I like to watch or listen to, and click it on and go to town.
Because it's good. It's good the background noise to listen to, so that you're not just in a silent, empty void while you're doing something.
Very true. So, have you ever collected any kind of other like Pokemon or anything like that? Have y'all?
No, I never got into the trading card scene. Once upon a time, I did have a little bit of a Slinky collection, but that didn't go far. I grew up with a Marble Run set, for around the time my sister was born. We got that when she was 2 or something.
Okay.
And so for a while there, I was collecting marbles, but that kind of fizzled out over time as well.
I had collections growing up that fizzled out. I had a baseball card collection. I had uh, garbage pail kids collection, but it fizzled out. This is the Legos one hobby that I kept doing. Oddly enough,
There
but
are some collectibles which stand the test of time because they're of higher quality and they're not easy. They're not easy to lose or break.
there you go. So, did you play any sports while you were in high school or anything? Did you play soccer? Or...
Well, I have no interest in demonstrating my athletic prowess, which is not much. So I never intended to play sport um, throughout elementary or high school. But then tenth grade, a bunch of my friends started playing a sport called European handball, which is a lot different from four-square handball, which is more accustomed to seeing people playing in school.
Okay.
European handball is a little bit like water polo, if anyone knows what that's about. So there was a regional European handball organization with some of the high schools near my high school that I got into, and we ended up winning the district championship because I thought myself, I've played a little bit of a netball in gym in PE class. I think I'm a good enough defender. Try to apply some of those defensive and netball traits to European handball, and I think I ended up as a pretty good defender.
There you go. Well, that's a good thing. Um, but yeah, we I played football in high school, but so there's no other hidden talents of Mayo Hosko that you want to bring to light.
Well, I can't really think of anything right now other than mental talents.
Mental talent. Well, I know you're an encyclopedia for stuff. I know that anybody has any kind of information that they need to know, they can just type you up and you'll give it to them.
Well, that's because I consider myself not only a Lego historian, but an avid memorizer because I have high functioning autism, which means that I'm not going to do your taxes for you, but I'm going to remember a lot of stuff that people would not normally have the brain capacity to do. So like I can remember something you might have said in your video 3 years
Mhm.
ago, and I might remember a tiny little insignificant detail in one of your videos. Like I always found it kind of cute and innocent that you had a passenger train going around your old Jurassic World, and it's like, what would they have a train like that on Hawaii Island where they filmed those films?
There you go. See,
Like that's
I
the
just,
stuff I
I
I
just put it on
I
there.
friends.
I just put the train on there just because I wanted a train in there. I didn't know anything about that. I just
Yeah,
like,
because I'd be the type of person to analyze. Okay, you're going with this because it's the set available, rather than trying to make it accurate to whatever the scene you're setting.
yeah. Well, at that time, I wasn't going by no movie. I was kind of just doing my own thing.
Yeah,
That will be back. So keep.
yeah, that's what I'm really excited for. A bunch of my other friends in the Lego community, they're doing exciting stuff. Bunch of people I'm subscribed to in the train community and the sports community, they're doing good stuff.
Nice. So you go. We only got about a couple more minutes left of this interview for this time. There may be a part two later on. Who knows? But go ahead and tell us when you go live usually on YouTube. I know there's a set schedule, but you also have a schedule when you're not in school. If you want to share
Yeah.
that real quick.
Yeah, well, on weeks when I'm not in class, I try to go live at 9 p.m. Eastern almost every day. And when I'm in school, I go live at 9 p.m. Eastern any given day. So actually, at the time of recording this interview, I'm going live in exactly 39 minutes on my channel, because it's just after 8:21 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Well, guys, I want to thank Mayo for coming on, hanging out with us for a little bit, and giving us some more detailed Mayoist. He does other stuff than Lego, y'all. If you want to check him out, his links will be in the description of this video, so make sure you go give him a like, follow, and subscription. We do want to thank you, Mayo, for coming on and doing this with me. It was fun getting to know a little bit more of you. But yeah, you got anything else you want to say?
Yes, everyone's seen the city behind me. This is the types of videos that you should be watching on my channel. If you're not already, because that's the main stuff I'm interested into whenever I'm not doing stuff on a live stream.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again, Mayo. Well, that was Mayo Hosko. Thank you, Mayo Hosko, for coming out and let us know more about his sports talk, his trains, his other interests. Appreciate him. Guys, like I said, he's a heck of a good dude. His links will be down in the description. Go give him a like, follow, subscription, whatever you can do to help him out, do it. He's a real good guy and good supporter of my channel. And as long as I know, he was supporting everybody, so go support him back. Guys, if you like this, please hit that like button down below. Leave me a message. Let me know what y'all think about Mayo Hosko. And maybe you subscribe if you ain't subscribed. And remember, y'all, cooking ain't easy, but it's fun. Until next time.